got recently asked, what probiotic should I take? And that opened up a whole can of worms, literally. I'm Erin Harner, integrated registered dietitian nutritionist and gut health coach. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through what your gut actually needs to heal and why the weed, seed, and feed framework is so helpful and more powerful than just guessing your way by taking a whole bunch of supplements that may or may not work. So let's talk strategy about what your gut actually needs, because probiotics alone won't fix your gut. Think of your gut like a garden. You wouldn't throw wildflower seeds into a weedy, compacted patch of soil and expect a thriving garden, would you? I certainly wouldn't. And yet that's what a lot of people do when they think about probiotics, without addressing what else is going on in their gut. When we're thinking about the gut, think about it like a garden. It is a compilation of lots and lots of microorganisms. About 4.5 pounds of bacteria live in your gut. There are more gut microbes than there are cells in your body, and about 100 times as much bacterial DNA as there is DNA in your own body. So this microorganism colony, this ecosystem really, really matters. So instead of just trying random things, hoping they're going to work, let's think about healing the gut from the inside out, focusing on the microbiome. And how I do that is I think about the weed, seed, and feed strategy. Okay, so the first part is weed. Let's remove what doesn't belong. The first phase is about clearing space, removing what's overgrown, inflamed, or disruptive. This might mean rebalancing overgrowth, addressing pathogens, or removing food triggers that are adding fuel to the fire. It could also mean removing limiting mindsets, negative thought patterns, stress, inflammatory foods, supplements that are contributing to your symptoms, and more. It doesn't just mean getting rid of pathogens. It's removing what's not working to clear space for healing and growth. Next, let's think about seed, or adding back what's missing. Only once you've cleared the space does it make sense to add in probiotics. Not just any probiotic, the ones that are the right strains for your gut. Not focusing on symptoms, but focusing on the terrain of the gut. Is there anything that's missing that would be helpful to add back in? This could be probiotics. This could be enzymes. This could be other supplements as needed. But really, we have to take a step back. We have to zoom out and truly understand what's going on in your gut. And because of this, I use functional stool testing in my practice and in my program to see what's depleted, what's dominant, and whether probiotics are even necessary or appropriate. Oftentimes, we can seed the gut with fermented foods. This also might include adding in some nutrients that might be missing if we look at serum labs. We've got to make sure that the body is nourished and we're supporting the gut microbiome with what it needs to grow and thrive. If you're not sure what your gut needs most, take my free gut clarity quiz. It'll help you figure out exactly what phase your gut is in right now, so you're not guessing, but following a strategy that fits your symptoms and your current state and helps you adjust the terrain so you can get started on this weed, seed, and feed strategy. It's going to give you exactly what the next steps are based on your gut type. So go ahead and grab that link below. The next phase is feed. Nourish what you want to grow. Remember, we have a garden, and sometimes there's weeds in the garden that we have to weed out first before we can plant our seeds. Then once we plant our seeds, we have to feed the seeds. We have to nourish what we want to grow. What do plants need to grow? They need water, they need sunlight, and they need nutrients. And oftentimes, if we want fruit, they need pollinators, right? So there are other things that are impacting the health of the microbiome or the health of the environment. And this applies to the garden, and it also applies to your gut microbiome. So if we think about it like an ecosystem, once that good stuff is in place, once we planted the seeds, we want to make sure that we have what we need to allow it to thrive and to grow. And some of those things are fibers, resistant starches, polyphenols. All these things feed your gut bacteria so they can do their job. Remember, the gut microbiome, each of those organisms in the gut microbiome has its own job as part of the ecosystem. Some help protect the gut barrier, some lay down mucus, some degrade mucus. They all have different jobs. And when we think about supporting the terrain and supporting the gut microbiome, we want to make sure that we're feeding it nutrients, good quality, healthy food, clean water. Like, you wouldn't plant a garden and forget to water it, right? You wouldn't expect it to grow. Same with your gut. We need to give it what it needs to grow and to thrive. And this order really matters. If you skip weeding, Probiotics may actually make symptoms worse. And I see this really commonly. A lot of clients will come to me and say, hey, Erin, I tried this and this and this, and they all made my symptoms worse. Why did it work for my friend or my neighbor or my family member? It's because they had a different gut microbiome. Right? Maybe theirs was more cleared out than yours was. Theirs was already weeded, or maybe theirs was deficient to begin with, and they didn't have to do a lot of weeding. In fact, they needed to do more focus on the seeding and the feeding, and what they happened to take happened to work, which is great. Doesn't always work that way. So weeding first, then seeding, then feeding. So if you jump straight to feeding the gut without weeding it first, your gut might not be ready to deal with those foods yet. Your gut may not be ready to deal with those probiotics yet, or it might be the wrong fit entirely. This is why you may be doing the right things, but they're not working. The order really matters. Weed, seed, feed. We're also focusing on the terrain here. We're not just focusing on the symptoms, because constipation, diarrhea, reflux, gas, bloating, abdominal pain, they're all connected. And by positively influencing the terrain of the gut, we can actually positively influence all of those symptoms by shifting the ecosystem that is the gut microbiome so that they can do their jobs. We want to weed out the ones that we don't want, seed the ones we do want, and feed them so they can grow and thrive and do their jobs. And this really contributes to a positive ecosystem that is promoting health and preventing disease. Right? It helps contribute to the strength of the gut barrier. It helps prevent leaky gut. It helps allow you to be resilient in your body and to tolerate a wide variety of foods that you may be wanting to eat. It's that healthy microbiome ecosystem that is keeping the pathogens in check, that's promoting health. It's allowing you to tolerate the foods that you're eating, preventing illness, and allowing you to feel good and healthy and strong with energy and clarity and good mental function so that you can live your life to the fullest. And keep in mind that no one size fits all. Just like no two gardens are exactly the same or no two spots of soil are exactly the same, your gut needs a personalized approach. Testing helps, but so does listening to your body and tracking how it responds to different things. Healing takes strategy and patience. Probiotics aren't bad. They're just often misused, or they're used too early, or the wrong type of probiotic is used. So when you follow a method like weed, seed, and feed, you give your gut exactly what it needs to actually heal and thrive long term. So if you haven't gotten the quiz yet, my gut clarity quiz, go ahead and click the link below and I'll send it your way. It will help you determine your gut type so you know what your next best steps are in your gut healing journey. So if you've been tossing probiotics into your routine and wondering why they're not working, this might be your missing link. Go ahead and take that gut clarity quiz to find out what phase your gut is in and what your next step could be. The link's below. Also, if you're struggling with symptoms after a period where you're feeling good, watch this next video where I explain how to build a resilient gut. You won't want to miss it.